My friends, the great experiment.
Strange new world.
Hidden trick.
Would you look at that?
The greatest trick.
And you people, you're all astronauts on some kind of Star Trek.
The greatest trick.
Welcome to Greatest Trek. It's a new Star Trek podcast from the makers of The Greatest Generation. I'm Ben Harrison.
I'm Adam Pranica. What was that sound?
Just a day, man. They dropped this new tranche of screeners on us very last minute.
Yeah.
Cramming in a record on a day when I had a lot of other stuff to do.
Mm-hmm.
Making it happen.
Yeah, I don't normally record on a Monday, but here we are. Thanks for making it possible.
Yeah. Well, thanks to the nice folks at Paramount that sent us the screener finally.
This could have been a 24-hour turn for us. I'm glad it's not.
No, we can't do that to Wynde. That's no fair.
No, not at all.
We can't turn them and burn them like that anymore. We're old. Look at us.
Too old!
I mean, I could probably still do it.
Yeah, you're very spry despite your advanced years.
I went to the lady who sticks needles in me from time to time. And
my wife's been doing that lately.
She always asks me, right up top, how are things going? How you doing? How you feeling? And a little too often I've been like, yeah, I've had like 2 martinis a night for the past 4 nights and out-of-town friends in town. And like I'm having a blast. I'm eating like shit. I'm sleeping bad. But I feel great. Do you have anything for that? And she does every time.
Wow.
She's like, I've got needles for that.
Dang.
And then she puts me back together.
Do they tie a string to your big toe that's attached to like a bell at this place these days so that they don't forget that you're there and leave you unattended for hours and hours?
That only happened once, and I'm still going to this place. That should give you a sense of my loyalty, even when wronged.
I would never stop hearing roasts about that if the shoe had been on the other foot.
Oh, yeah?
If I had continued to go to a healthcare adjacent facility and had an experience like that, yeah, I think I would get a ration of shit for it.
I mean, we need to be clear. I was forgotten for 15 minutes. You have had surgery performed on you without anesthetic. That's one instance I can remember.
Yeah.
There are myriad others.
There was some anesthetic. There just wasn't enough anesthetic.
I don't think these are equal experiences, is what I'm trying to say.
I don't know.
Out-of-town guests really do it to you, You get friends coming to visit from far off. You're obligated to do the things.
Yeah. The mistake you guys made is get house with space.
Mm-hmm.
We do not have this problem because our house is not big enough for 2 people, much less 4.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what we did. It works, but everyone knows the 3-night rule.
Yeah.
Friends and family.
That's good. Yeah. That is enforced with extreme prejudice.
I just learned that it's not an ADU if it doesn't have a kitchen. And my studio, bathroom, guest bedroom, garage out here does not have a kitchen. Therefore, it's not an ADU. Therefore, what is it? It's a converted garage, I guess.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably good for your taxes. I don't know. I don't know how these things work.
I mean, it's another check in that column of don't stay too long. You don't even have a kitchen. This isn't some fucking extended stay hotel for business people.
No, there isn't that sad drawer that has 1 fork, 1 knife, and 1 spoon sliding around in it.
Oh, man. It's so funny how, like, that shit lasts forever, right? The shitty fork, spoon, and knife.
Yeah. Just stamp it out of a piece of sheet metal.
No one's throwing those away.
No. Those are staying here. When the aliens dig up our civilization, that's all they're going to find. That and like Teflon pans.
When we first moved to LA, we were unpacking all of our shit, and like the silverware being one of the first things you unpack because the kitchen is one of the first things you unpack. And we put our mishmash of silverware into the drawers, a lifetime of moving from dorm to dorm and house to house and apartment to apartment, and then like you move in together with someone and then your utensils combine and it's just a mess. And there was that day where my wife was like, I think we should get new silverware. And I can't tell you how happy I was when we went and got that. Like, we didn't get wedding silverware. We went and got it ourselves. It was really nice.
It's very nice. I've found it very hard to find silverware that's the right shape and size and weight and everything. Like, it seems like there's so many takes on silverware out there. To find silverware that's like not annoying in some way is really hard.
We made a mistake with our spoons are too big.
Yeah.
They're for someone else's big ass mouths, but
I should come over there.
There's like big spoon, little spoon, and our big spoons we never use. We should just get rid of them. They're like ice cream scoops.
My spoon is too big.
Yeah. They'll be relics of our civilization too,
That's just it. We'll never get rid of these. Like, you're one and done when it's silverware.
Do you want to talk about the relic of an offshoot of our civilization, Adam?
Yeah, I really do, Ben. Let's get into the dark, dirty business of Strange New World, Season 3, Episode 6. It's called The Salat Who Ate Its Tail.
You know the greatest danger facing us is an irrational fear of the unknown.
This is his first time in a chair, right?
I love a nice shallot. Saute it a little bit, and then make that the base. Get rid of the onion. So much less classy.
Do you think salat is red meat or white meat?
Oh, like if you were to enjoy.
This is a beloved pet. You're not supposed to eat these things.
Well, it's only logical, It represents a big pile of calories. We're not going to let it go to Vulcans are fucking veggies, aren't they?
They are. They would never.
God damn it.
You remain impulsive carnivores.
Yeah.
Cold open on the USS Farragut, as Picard would call it. You remember him saying the ship name? Farragut?
Got a Farragut?
It's First Officer James Kirk's log, and he's as bored as he was in the beginning of that Star Trek Beyond movie.
Yeah.
Day after day, same after same.
Bored to tears. They're at Helicon Gamma, which is an M-class planet, and they're just doing scans. That yeoman's duty that all starships do, scanning a planet. And, some people find joy in it.
I just love scanning for life forms.
But Kirk is not among them. Captain Varel is a real rulebook follower, and he steps to this Vulcan lady with a pitch that he'd like to take an away team down and get a load of this planet from real close up, and that's a risk that Varel is just not willing to take.
When we watched the third Star Trek movie, we went on and on about the Canoe-class starship in the beginning and its captain, very by the book.
Yeah.
Varel is giving me those vibes, but I wonder, Ben, if...
I kind of wanted, young version of that guy. Oh, man, Kirk, leapfrogged that guy in the command structure because he was so boring.
Do you think whatever class the Farragut is kind of proto-canoe class? It's got these nacelles that curve underneath the saucer. Thought it was kind of an oddball design.
It is. I do like it when the nacelles go down like that. But I guess it doesn't really seem to have a star drive section, right? It's just saucer and nacelles.
Yeah.
That's weird.
It sure is. Varel is Kirk's nemesis here. I don't feel like he likes her very much for a lot of reasons. They just don't seem to be a good fit. But maybe when you're captain and first officer, this is how you want it. You want a little bit of friction.
He is always pushing her buttons because that's his style, and always questioning her decisions. And he is in the middle of pitching, putting some boots on the ground when a seismic disturbance impacts the planet, and we see on the view screen that this is a planet killer. Whatever has happened is shooting rock and debris up into orbit. It's so impactful. So it's a pretty emphatic endorsement of Captain Varel's reticence to put people in harm's way like that.
I think it's so important that this moment happens right after Kirk asks, instead of Captain Varel going, well, maybe we could send one or two. Like, you cannot have a second of Varel even considering this idea. Otherwise, when this planet explodes, you kind of put it on both of them as having a bad idea. Like, Kirk must be the only one to bear this.
They get hit with the bangers of this impact.
All hands, brace for...
As the revelation of what a bad idea Kirk had is washing over us. And I don't know how you felt about this, Adam. This was comically bad to me, the way they did Captain Varel pitching forward out of her chair.
Oh, really?
I was like, what the fuck am I watching? Like, they didn't even, like, jostle the camera. It looks like she just stands up and does a pratfall for no reason.
Oh, that didn't bump me at all. Here's what I was trying to do. I was trying to see the view screen. There are a couple of moments during this action where, like, you see the view screen action is in the background and foreground shit is happening. Like, people are talking to each other, people are getting tossed. But, like, the effect of the planet exploding, I thought was really great. And I was, like, trying to look over. I think that's...
that's not how TVs work, right?
I think that's why the Varel pop out of the chair didn't bump me the way it bumped you.
We'll get into whether I liked this episode later, but this cold open felt like it could have been on the same level as the cold open of Star Trek 2009, which I still believe is like one of the greatest openings of a movie in the last 50 years.
Agree, yeah.
And it just hit so slapstick to me. I couldn't believe it. I hated the opening of this episode.
Wow. Well, Kirk is... I think maybe one of the only bridge crew people still conscious. Like, everyone's been, like, picked up and dropped, basically.
He looks longingly at the empty captain's chair, like, so silly.
Well, it looks like every chair is empty, and Kirk doesn't sit in any of them. He tries to get a distress call out, but no dice. And that's because there's something enormous on the view screen, and all we see is his reaction to it before we go into the theme.
After the theme, the Farragut is saved by the entrepreneur doing some absolutely fucking awesome shit that almost made me forget how bad the cold open was. This sequence is so cool. Like, warping in, shooting those rocks, like throwing up the shields and like, you know, Secret Service agenting in front of him to protect the Farragut. Amazing.
You see in the exterior just how messed up the Farragut is. I should say Farragut.
I've been mispronouncing it as well, and I apologize.
It's got sheets ripped off of its saucer. It's looking pretty ugly.
Yeah.
Especially in comparison to the Enterprise when it rolls up.
It's like when you borrow a pencil from someone that chews on them, you know? You're like, oh, God, it's really trashed, isn't it? It'll never be the same.
Those days are long gone, man. You have already borrowed your last chewed on pencil, and that happened 30 years ago.
Yeah, but I'm still traumatized. You know, I'm still carrying that with me.
So Spock leads a boarding party that includes Chapel, Uhura, La'an, and Scotty, and they find a guy in a lot of pain in the corridor talking about something huge. And Chapel tends to him, and Scotty heads to engineering, and everyone else heads to the bridge.
And this is like okay, I'll see you when I see you, because comms are down. There's no way to talk back to the entrepreneur, and there's no way to talk to each other over their communicators while aboard because of this scattering field or whatever. It seems like there's also like a lot fewer people aboard than they were expecting, which indicated to me that a lot of people were dead, but I think actually wound up meaning that a lot of people escaped in escape pods.
Right.
So anyways, Chapel makes it to 6 Bay. We learned that Captain Varel did live, despite the green goo coming out of her skull in the cold open. She's just in very bad shape. I think that you can tell someone's not doing well when they have some of that anti-slip material that you put under an area rug wrapped around their head.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty tough look for Captain Varel. She does that thing. She puts up a brave face, tries to get up from the bed, is restrained and pushed back down.
If you're the captain, you got to do one of those, you know? Like, you hope that they put up a good show of, no, you keep lying there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. She's got way worse than a concussion here. She stays put. On the bridge, Kirk is well enough to work. And when Spock, Uhura, and La'an arrive, there seems to be something just a little low-key fun and flirty between Kirk and La'an.
Yeah.
Some lingering glances.
Seems to be my specialty.
I didn't even really put that together when Spock and La'an started their little dalliance, that this is setting up a love triangle, because there was some La'an and Kirk energy before.
I mean, when La'an beams away with the sensor information, there's that lingering look that Spock gives her before she blurps away. So yeah, there's eye jammies being shot all around here in this scene.
I feel like such an idiot that I didn't realize that earlier in the season. You know, like probably if I haunted the fanfic parts of the internet, I would have already read novels and novels of slash fic about La'an with Kirk and Spock Eiffel Towering her and shit.
Would you look at that?
Speaking of blowing, Uhura is able to blow in a FaceTime over to Pike on Enterprise. And the rundown is this. Some giant ship shot a powerful beam into the planet, blew it up, and all of the important systems on Farragut were blown out in the process. And a bunch of folks abandoned ship, but some of the crew stayed on to try to keep things together.
So Pike is like, all right, well, good show by you, old chap, Captain Kirk. Haha. You did a great job, like, watching the farm, but now we got to get everybody off of the Farragut so that, like, it's just a ship. We need to save all these lives.
Pike's like, I don't know if you can see yourself. Like, that's maybe not a thing on starships. Like, you can't see your exterior the way I can.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, Kirk, you're looking like a chewed up pencil over there. And that's even further in the past for you and me.
Yeah, like this is just the stuff of legend for us. Like we talk about chewed up pencils with awe and reverence of a technology long past.
You think of this era of Star Trek, if you were by yourself on the Farragut, you'd be taking shuttles out to inspect your own damage?
Yeah, I guess so. They probably have some cameras on the hull that can like point back a little bit, right?
I don't know. I mean, how much are you going to get with a couple of wide-angle cameras out there?
Yeah.
I think that's tough.
Remember that one time on the Enterprise D when they were like, oh, like turn the camera around back and they're like, oh, we got a critter stuck to us. Look at that. Like nobody was aware of it until then.
That was a big moment.
Yeah. And you're like, oh man, I didn't even know the view screen could do that. They got to be able to do that, right?
Got to.
Anyways, they're also going to bring over as much data as they can get out of the computer about this Destroyer of Worlds ship that the Farragut encountered.
Oh, watch out, Ben. When you do the Picard twirl over the R, you're very close to saying a very bad word that includes those letters.
I would never, Adam.
So, I just want to caution you. Be very careful with Farragut.
I was referring to the USS Farragut.
Indeed.
And I would never refer to anything else that sounds even remotely similar. They get the data out, right? Like the data gets to the entrepreneur with La'an.
On that little yellow card. Yeah.
Yeah. But then comms kind of drop out and we see on the view screen a big, super ugly ship gobble up the entrepreneur with a literal chompy mouth.
This thing has got like Castle Grayskull mouth. And also a bunch of grapplers. And I love seeing Enterprise just like feebly shoot at it during.
I fucking love this ship so much. This ship is like my new personality. I'm goth now. I'm so into this ship.
It's got battleship-like cannons on it, too.
Yeah.
It's such a weird-looking kit bash of not just starships, but just interesting things.
Yeah. Oh, man, this ship rules so fucking hard. And amazingly, despite how much bigger it is than the Entrepreneur, it is able to warp out of there once it has chewed up the ship. And we learned that Captain Varel just got sent over to the Entrepreneur with all the extreme cases in Six Bay.
Can you imagine being transported over there for very specialized brain surgery, which is what Chapel says they did? Like, you're over there like, finally, it's time for brain surgery. And then all the power goes out on Enterprise. Like, fuck. I would have been better off on the chewed up pencil.
You're like looking out the window at the giant mouth biting your ship. And you're like, man, I really need that brain surgery. What is going on?
That sucks so bad for her.
What this has set up, though, is a situation in which Scotty, Uhura, Spock, Kirk are all on the same ship together, and Kirk is the captain.
Pretty fun.
Do you think that they tried to figure out a way in the script to have this happen on The Entrepreneur, and they were just like, fuck, no, it's really got to be the Farragut, because otherwise the Entrepreneur is the one that's chewed up and is going to need months and months in space dock to rebuild it again?
I mean, I'm glad we got what we got. It doesn't seem possible on Enterprise just because, I mean, Kirk would be a visitor there. How many senior crew would have to be gone for him to be the captain over there?
That's fair. He doesn't sit in it, but that is now his chair. And inside the spooky ship that grabbed the Entrepreneur, it is so grapply. I couldn't tell at first if it was like wood, like vines creeping over everything, but I think it is grapples. Like it's all like techno grapple material.
I thought of a bunch of words for this like you. I think it's cables.
Yeah. Pike and Una have a conversation about how fucked their situation is because like the power is draining, they can't transmit, they can't maneuver, and they can't even communicate within their own ship. So they've sent like runners down to engineering and they're not coming back, which indicates there are invaders on board the ship.
This composition, I think, is notable. I like how they aren't set up where Pike is in the big chair and Una is in a different chair and they've whipped around and they're sitting and talking.
Right.
These two are talking like two head coaches in a football game meeting before the game starts.
Yeah.
Like they're kind of hand on chin, talking it out, standing next to each other. Like,
well, maybe like a head coach and an offensive coordinator, right? Because probably the two head coaches wouldn't be talking in a football game, right? Because they're from the other opposite teams.
But before the game, many of them do.
Oh, really?
And, yeah, that's the moment I'm describing.
Oh.
Yeah, they often meet and say what's up to each other before.
Oh.
And this is the vibe here. And I like that these are things that you can do when you compose a shot with important characters. You don't have to do the same whip around in a chair that you would get in Star Trek for years and years. I like this. This just felt new and fresh to me. And I know it's such a minor moment in the runtime of the whole episode, but
yeah,
I wanted to note it.
It's a nice two-shot.
RSVP that runner, though, right?
Oh, yeah. Too bad.
Ensign, we just need you to run down to engineering. Probably nothing's going to happen to you during.
I can do that, sir.
Captain Pike's going to remember me for doing a good job.
He didn't say my name, but I could tell he knows it. So they're talking about what this thing is, and La'an uses the term astrophore. This is like a edge of known space boogeyman that all different cultures tell their children about, apparently.
When you don't want to buy the generic stuff, you want to get the astrophore. That's the good stuff.
Yeah, it's not going to dissolve your rubber.
This conversation's so great. Like they kind of go around the horn talking about the different cultures' names for this thing, and it sounds like all of them could be like the names of heavy metal bands.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or something Strong Bad would come up with. Which is why I called this ship Trogdor from here until the end.
Different names, same story.
Burninating the neutral zone. Burninating the Klingons.
So here's the thing. This is mythical, right? A bunch of cultures have made up stories about it. It seems
even the Gorns are afraid of it.
If you believe this, you also have to believe that its goal is to tear Enterprise apart. Like, if this is real and we're inside this thing that's also real, its main purpose is to rip and shred and salvage. And the Enterprise being in this thing means that is in its future.
Yeah. So Pike is like, we got to start strategizing about how to get rid of this, how to get out of here. And
We're going to run out of ensigns as runners here pretty soon.
we need engines back online ASAP so that once we've solved for getting uncabled, we can go. And we cut over to the Farragut, where Kirk is trying to record a log about how this has gone from being very boring to very sucky. And a McLaughlin group kind of breaks out all around him.
Issue 1.
Interrupting his log. And this is where we talk about, like, what do we know about the Trogdor?
When you're recording a log and you're interrupted recording that log, I gotta believe what you want is that interruption to leave immediately so that you can then finish recording the log.
No.
This is basically the worst possible scenario for log recording here for Kirk.
The thing that drives me nuts about it is, like, I know myself. I know that I'm not going to remember to finish the log later once a full-blown McLaughlin group is broken out. Like, that log is as good as not done.
Yeah.
And that's, like, part of my reporting requirements to Starfleet. That's how I retain a command as a captain. I
know. It's so brutal. I think it's also a little disappointing, the information that is brought to Kirk here. Not a lot. Not very detailed. This thing is...
Ship big, ship hopefully slow is basically what is given to him.
It's got a lot of parts from a lot of different species, including Klingon parts, interestingly enough. And there is kind of a suggestion that this thing is the enemy of their enemy. By like focusing so much on the Klingon ship, it's like, damn, I don't know. I mean, could this guy be our friend? Because they did so well against the Klingons? That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
We need to score a lot of laps fast.
We're licensed businessmen.
Well, there's a new ship. She's got the right name. She's got the right name. Now, you remember that, you hear?
Kirk feels that they must act very quickly in response to this crisis, even though regs say, like, run home to a beacon and tell Starfleet. He's like, no, like, we don't have time for that. We got to save the entrepreneur. Also,
a mystery is, why did they leave the Farragut behind? Like, what's up with that? We were right here for the taking, and they didn't. And the sad truth of it is that this chewed up pencil is so fucked up that not even Trogdor wanted any part of it. It just left it behind.
Yeah, like if you find this, you know, on the desk at a post office offered for public use to write addresses on things, like you're not going to touch that thing, you know?
Yeah.
That's the same logic that Trogdor used.
There's a little bit of that energy with Kirk going like, restore our engines. We will make them regret that.
Fuck me, fuck you.
Yeah.
Pike and La'an are trying to get down to engineering. They're armed. They're ready for anything because they believe that there may be invaders aboard. And sure enough, there are. It's Pelia and a bunch of engineers who are trying to get out of engineering because the air down there is no longer breathable.
She also warns them about something she calls the umbilical. And this is revealed to be a giant hose that's been rammed into the hull that I think we understand is the thing pumping out the poison gas and also sucking out the power and fuel supply.
Yeah. I mean, I think we've always suspected that Pike had a hose. This episode confirms it.
Pike's like, okay, makes sense to me. We should figure out how to disconnect this thing that's attempting to kill us.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. Once we do that, we're probably going to need to get out of here pretty fast. So let's make that part of the plan too.
Everybody is making their plan. Let's have the engines in great shape so that we can do the other part of our plan.
I mean, this sequence of scenes is really interesting, right? Because Pike wants engines, but Scotty's over on the Farragut.
Yeah. It's like peeling off another storyline because part of the challenge is going to be comms, but we learn a little bit more on the Farragut about what it was that the scavenger wanted. That planet that got cooked was rich in aldentium, which is a substance that Italians use in their propulsion systems.
It's only good for 8 minutes of acceleration and terrible after 10.
There's another planet nearby that has more of this stuff, and unfortunately it's a pre-warp society, so we can't warn them because of the Prime Directive, but their planet's going to get destroyed, so we have to stop this ship thing.
When you think of this pre-warp society, you have an image in mind, don't you? And they look a little Cro-Magnon. I always think this way because we don't see the society, crucially. It's just all in our imagination.
What are the pre-warp societies that we've spent like a good amount of time in? There's the one with the lobster claw people.
The Mintakans.
Yeah, there's the Mintakans. There's the Ren Fair people that Data walks into town with a briefcase full of uranium or whatever.
Yeah. He got Major League Dom-jotted in that episode.
He did. He really did.
Was Planet Irish also pre-warp?
No, I think that those were those Federation citizens that were choosing to live like that?
Yeah, I think that's how I remember it too.
Yeah. Pre-warp by choice, Adam.
That makes it better.
Yeah.
Cro-Magnon by choice is more like it.
Scotty does not like the idea of getting the engines really cooking on the Farragut, but Kirk tells him it's worth the risk. So we're going to get ready to go to maximum warp.
Did you get anything out of the name of this planet that Trogdor was headed for? It's called Sullivan's Planet, and I was like, oh, okay. Certainly there will be something familiar about that. I looked it up and I couldn't really find anything. Like, it's named that for a reason I don't understand.
This is a sci-fi trope that I've noticed and have never really figured out what it is about. Like, I've read a million sci-fi novels and seen movies and TV shows where it is somebody's world. Like, it's a possessive, and I don't know what the fuck it is in reference to, or if it is a reference to anything. Like, is it like the discoverer of that planet was named Sullivan? Like, a bit disrespectful to the pre-warp society that lives there.
On Sullivan's Planet, we don't celebrate Sullivan's Day. We celebrate Indigenous Planet Day.
Right. When you have like a festival there, it's like, hey, we just wanted to acknowledge that, this festival is happening in Sullivan's Planet, but we are standing on Mintakan ground.
Yeah. Millions of folks live there. That's the trouble. When Trogdor arrives, that's going to be a big problem. So Kirk really wants warp speed to try to beat Trogdor there, but Scotty can't guarantee to him that he can't keep the ship from flying apart.
Yeah, might have to fly her apart then.
Kirk hears the warning, but he's not really listening, is he?
No.
He wants this thing to happen in spite of all that. And on the bridge, it's at a point where Ortegas is hot wiring her helm control.
I'm amazed that Ortegas's helm control has big fat copper wires in it, but I guess that makes sense. I don't know. She is surprised that she's not getting a traditional shower of sparks from doing this because, this is Starfleet. That's what happens when you connect one thing to another thing. They realize that is an indication of just how sapped the ship is. It doesn't have its normal vim and vigor for exploding its crew.
Maybe they did a lockout tagout, and that's why Ortegas can mess with these wires and jumpers, right?
Yeah, but that wouldn't be the Starfleet way,
Not in this era.
No, they're trying to get around safety features in the navigation system so that they can really jam when they need to get out of here. They're talking about like being able to fire thrusters in a coordinated way despite everything being fucked up in terms of internal comms and the engines and everything. And Pelia has an idea to get around this that has something to do with having lived through the 1980s.
We don't get to hear what this is. That's just a tease. We cut over to Pike and La'an and an unidentified third person, and they're all wearing EV suits, and they find the spot of the ship where the umbilical has rammed itself into the hull. And, oh no, there's also a giant spacesuit-wearing alien working on this thing along with a buddy.
I called these guys Big Daddies. Reminded me of those characters from the BioShock video games.
Oh, yeah.
They get in a gunfight with these guys pretty quickly, and they are not all that pervious, it turns out. And they're shooting weapons that like punch through walls. Like the person that they shoot, the red shirt that's with the captain and La'an, got hit like through a bulkhead. Pretty scary bad guy here. And they kind of retreat and re-strategize when they realize this lady is dead.
I was surprised when we cut back to the Farragut that it was at warp. Scotty did it. Look at him go. And Uhura's at the helm. Look at her go.
Yeah.
That's great.
Kirk is so fucking smug about that, too. Like, I love his energy in this scene.
I will be accepting drinks in the galley from everyone who said that this was impossible.
Oh, and have the boy lay out my formal shorts.
There's a little bit of Zap Brannigan in him in this moment.
Total. Yeah. Great stuff. But then, obviously, the warp core goes offline, and Scotty reports that it's well and truly cooked now. Their plasma manifolds are scrap metal.
This isn't the Scotty that we would know years from now. Like, there is no repair for this.
Yeah.
I had a big problem with the route the Farragut took to Sullivan's planet being directly in the line of Trogdor. Can you not go to Sullivan's planet a little parallel? So that if you were to have a breakdown, Trogdor isn't going to run your ass over in the street?
I wondered about that. Like, how close did they actually get? Seems like they're going really close. Like,
yeah.
Gotta hope this is a 2-lane highway, you know?
Yeah.
That is now your chair, Captain.
It's a new ship.
So they're like, well, we're dead in the water here. Now we've got Trogdor bearing down on us again. We can either play dead here or everybody get in a shuttle and warp to a Starfleet beacon to warn them about what's going to happen. But if we do that, everyone on Sullivan's planet is going to die. So
and Enterprise, too.
Right. So neither is a good option. And Kirk is like sulking off in the corner, like not even really taking part in this conversation.
I love Kirk becoming that kind of fan of new Star Trek who is like, I don't like how many bridge crew people have ideas about what to do when shit goes down. I like strong captains making decisions and not by committee. And there seems to be that energy with Kirk. He's like, God, who asked you people?
Yeah. He rejects both options, gets real pissy with them, explains that he needs to clear his head, and he stamps off. And he's like barely left the room when they're starting to talk about like medically disqualifying him from command so that somebody with some cojones can actually do something about this.
Do you think this is premature or post-mature or correctly mature?
I want it to come up the second I think of it in Star Trek, and I feel like far too often it comes up very late in the episode relative to when I thought maybe the captain shouldn't be in the chain right now. So I liked that they just got out in front of it.
The fact that they have 1 hour until Trogdor flattens them like a frog in the road, I think really does a lot to energize this moment, right? If they had days and days to work a problem, I think this would seem premature, but as it is, with this clock ticking, I think this is the right time to consider it.
With that on the table, Uhura suggests that maybe he just needs like a pep talk. Maybe turnabout is fair play for the pep talks he's given all of them. Maybe if somebody can talk to him about needing to lead in this moment, that would help. And Spock volunteers to be the person to do that.
Over on Enterprise, Pike and La'an carry their downed crew person, which we learn is named Howard, on out of there. But the aliens round a corner and they are chasing them very, very slowly. This is like boy skunk and girl skunk in the Looney Tunes. Like those big boys back there, not in a lot of hurry. And it's because when Pike and La'an shot phasers, their suits seem to have absorbed that energy.
Yeah.
Not a lot of threat being posed by La'an and Pike. And when the aliens shoot them, it's more like a projectile. Like you said, like it went through a bulkhead. It like went through the suit. It did a lot of rip damage to the body.
Yeah. No good.
And that's what ends up killing Howard in the end when they drag her into the bar and close the door behind them.
Yeah.
She's fucked up. So RSVP Howard, and then they solemnly cover her face with a dinner napkin. The tablecloths are all around you guys. I think Howard deserved better.
I mean, she was in her motorcycle helmet. You just need that one part covered, right? Like, why use an entire tablecloth? Then you got to replace an entire tablecloth.
The way the bar is coming down all around them in this episode, tablecloths, the least of their problems.
Yeah, it's a huge amount of broken glass was used in the production of this episode. And the big daddies are trying to get in from the hallway. So Pike orders phasers set to kill. And then they're like, but like these phasers don't do shit to these guys. And La'an gets her hand on a bottle of booze. And they come up with an idea to use fire to scare these these Frankenstein monsters. Even to a terrifying, marauding space scavenger, fire bad, Adam.
Sure is. In Pelia's quarters, which look like a place that has a distinct smell, Dr. Mbenga and Ortegas are there to judge.
Yeah.
Our quarters are exactly what I expected.
What Pelia takes out of a trunk of junk is a bunch of old corded telephones, because the plan is to strip the ship of copper cable like you're a fucking Los Angeles city street with functional streetlights, and then run telephone lines all over the place.
Yeah.
Ben, I put it that way because recently my street had its copper cables taken, which
No
means
kidding.
it's completely in the dark. And when I wrote in a ticket, to the city
Yeah.
to tell them, they said to expect service in 180 days.
Cool. So we have some time.
I didn't like the idea of them stripping Enterprise for this, just
Yeah.
reflexively, but that's what the plan is going to be.
I mean, do they keep junkies aboard for this eventuality?
Yeah, it's their only job.
Spock approaches Kirk in his very fucked up ready room where he's putting, I guess it's not even his ready room, it's Vela's ready room.
Mhm.
And Kirk is putting the 3D chess set back the way it was before bangers knocked it all over the floor. And he's talking about this ongoing game he had with his captain. And Spock is like, yo, ticking clock here, bud. You don't have time for this shit. But Kirk is doing this in the idea that he can inspire himself to think the way Vela does and think his way out of this dilemma that he has.
I think we've all felt this way. I don't think Kirk is normally a person without confidence, but when you make bad decisions or decisions that don't work out over and over and over again, you cultivate this energy of maybe I don't know what I'm doing anymore, or maybe all I'm ever going to do is make bad decisions.
Yeah.
It's unusual to see this in Kirk, just as someone that we understand to be a supremely confident person at all times.
He's rattled by this moment because he's always been sure that he knew the right way. And when people did something other than that, he was dismissive of their choice because he knew better. And suddenly every decision has to face the test of reality, and it's not going so great for him.
Spock's advice is good here, just like it would be good for anyone in a situation like this, which is the very worst thing you can do is to stop making decisions. The only way out is through. Make more decisions. Eventually, some of them and then most of them are going to be good, and then you're going to be fine again. You need to lead. Get out there and lead and make decisions. That's the only thing you can do, Kirk.
Trust your intuition. And I think it's good advice. I'd be scared to get this advice in as life or death a situation as they're in and be okay, I'm confident again. But
well, you'd be medically relieved of command if you stopped making decisions. That's what would happen.
Yeah. It wouldn't have been a discussion. I would have left the bridge and they would have been he's relieved of command, right? Yeah. What a relief.
That room he went into locks from the outside, right? Let's not even tell him. Let's just hit the button.
So we now only have 20 minutes left for that scavenger ship, and Kirk comes out, a changed man, and announces that we're not giving up on the entrepreneur. And we start talking about, like, what is weak about that ship? What are their soft spots?
Its insatiable appetite for pasta.
Yeah.
And the good stuff, too, the fresh kind.
This really stirs the motivation of the ship, and with the knowledge that these guys are bottomlessly greedy, Kirk has a plan.
That plan is to make the pasta all you can eat. And when Trogdor comes on the scene to feast, this thing's going to be in for a bad surprise.
Yeah, we're going to spoof like we have tons of aldentium on board the Entrepreneur, and that's just the easy part. And we cut away to Pike and La'an, who are fighting the big daddies like hand to hand. Like that seems to do better than energy weapons.
As if Picard ordered them to in First Contact.
Right.
Like that's what they resorted to at this point.
They're doing pretty good. La'an gets her guy because I guess his purple power absorption pack got knocked out. Pike is like at gunpoint with this guy. This other guy grabs his phaser and is pointing the gun at Pike and decides not to shoot. And he runs away after La'an shoots him a couple of times.
It's notable that this person makes this choice after Pike's face shield is broken. You can see his face stirring.
Yeah. Weird. Why didn't he do it? Why didn't he punch Pike's ticket?
Why were they wearing ski goggles to begin with?
Is Pike at all worried about dying in a situation like this, given what he has seen of the future?
I don't know. I often think that about Pelia, who has lived so long. Like, do you think when you live as long as she has, you hold on to life harder or looser?
Yeah. I mean, she did really resent the idea of getting shot by Pike when he came around that corner with his gun drawn. So,
yeah.
So maybe harder.
I think so. Yeah.
The greatest trick
Is yet to come.
They want to disconnect this umbilical, and they come up with the idea of putting some baryon particles into the artery that is sucking all of the lifeblood out of their ship. Everybody knows baryons are bad.
I wanted to see the particles. I wanted them to be green.
I did too. I wanted the device to have like green lights on it at the very minimum.
No.
I have red lights. Fuck that.
It's basically a cocktail shaker. That's what Pike administers later on.
You know, they're going to sour the milk, and they split up. La'an has to go get the baryons, and I guess Pike is sticking around trying to figure out how to get into the umbilical. Pelia gets her makeshift AT&T system up and running, and they have like some joysticks in either nacelle, I guess. I guess they're not in nacelles. They're just in hallways, like getting ready to fire thrusters.
Yeah, the thrusters are on the dish.
Yeah.
And, I mean, if you're going to be firing thrusters, you might as well use a Thrustmaster brand joystick.
For anyone who wants to master their thrusters, there's Thrustmaster.
Trogdor drops out of warp right on top of the Farragut, and Uhura steers the ship on their mission to overcook Trogdor's pasta, and that involves cutting loose the warp nacelles and dumping them onto the side of Trogdor itself. And great success!
I love that the grapplers go in after it and also hit the hull. Like they're not smart enough to not self-grapple.
Something I've always thought about is why warp nacelles have not been used as projectiles before on Star Trek. Like it seems like when Riker gives the order to fire at the end of Best of Both Worlds, I thought maybe shooting the nacelles at warp speed into the Borg ship might have been like a first strike over the main deflector dish idea.
That's not quite what they do. They just kind of drop them.
These are like dummy bombs.
Yeah, but you see all the lights go out on Trogdor, and Farragut is able to hail Enterprise and give them the go-ahead on their jailbreak, but they are still all tied up. Pike and La'an have not finished their task, so Pike is going to take care of that, and he and La'an put the poison pill into the umbilical, and it detaches, and it's Una and Dr. Mbenga on the thrusters getting phone calls from Ortegas up on the bridge. I liked how Pelly was off kind of like spinning the ones and twos at her big like wad of copper wires.
Look, there is never a moment I don't want a scene with Dr. Mbenga. Like, give me all Mbenga all the time, but it is nonsensical that he is involved in this plan. I don't understand this.
So many people aboard that could have been doing this.
It's the Farragut that has a shorter crew complement.
Yeah.
They're all over on Enterprise. Enterprise has even more people than usual.
You know what? We went to all the trouble of introducing that 3-armed bartender lady.
Yeah.
She'd be perfect for this because she could be doing the joystick and still doing the phone, and she's got a free hand.
How much fun would it be if we get that scene where she puts one phone up to one side, one phone up to the other, and then like the third phone up to the middle? Come on!
Where is she? Why did they introduce her that specifically and then not bring her back for anything yet?
This is worse than introducing Cybok.
I really feel that's true. Like, I can deal with Cybok having been a stunt and not a character that they were introducing for real.
This is my pain.
There's still a Big Daddy aboard, also. They find some blood on a wall, and they realize that other one that they shot and was injured is still running around. They, like, can't break free, and then Una figures out that if she depressurizes an airlock, that will, like, create a bunch of thrust in addition to what they're already creating.
Like cause and effect.
Yeah. And it works. They get the fuck out of there. And the Farragut isn't going to be able to shoot the grapplers that Trogdor is shooting out at them, but it can fire torpedoes deep inside Trogdor at the carcass of that Klingon D7 that they scanned in there earlier. And one of the funnest, greatest explosions in Star Trek history ensues.
It really blows big. It felt to me like an 8-bit Nintendo solution to the problem. Like, there is the briefest of moments where they're like, what are we going to do? How do we kill it? And Spock evidently is the only one who's ever played Contra or something. Because he's like, clearly we got to shoot torpedoes into this thing's mouth.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and do that. No wonder it works.
Yeah. Good job, team. You know, Kirk surrounds himself with the great people. They should feel super proud of what they did. Pike and La'an on board the Entrepreneur find the body of the Big Daddy, all bloody. Uh-oh. We learn that there are 7,000 life signs in the cloud of debris that is expanding from where Trogdor was. And those life signs are dwindling. Spock calls Kirk over to look in the, like, viewing tunnel thing. You know, we've seen this thing for years. It's obviously like a throwback to TOS. I thought it was a nice touch that when Kirk saw what Spock had gotten on his scanner, that he barfed right into that thing. Just filled it up with chunder.
Yeah. I mean, I thought it was interesting how the show let you watch too. Like, you see Spock look into it, you see Kirk look into it, and then you see for yourself. Mm-hmm. And it is just the worst possible image.
Spock is like, Captain, look at this.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God, he had a gun in my mouth.
There's a sequence here, right? So, like, we learn that the downed body's human. We also learn that all these floaters are human. And there's a gravity to this moment. Like, what? There's an American flag on some of the debris? These folks are human? What does it mean? And we're caught up in the conference room where we get a little bit of a book report about what this ship is all about. It was built in the mid-21st century. It was crewed by a bunch of scientists who sort of built it into a generation ship, disappeared, and was never heard from again.
And these were like optimistic people who were trying to preserve humanity by taking people off into the cosmos in a pre-warp ship. And they like were so disgusted with the end of the Third World War that they like felt that this was the only way for humanity to survive. And somehow they went out to an event horizon distance of space and turned into crazy people with a big chompy spaceship that just maraud around and steal shit from people.
Hearing you say that made me think about what this show wants you to think of these people, because I think baked into this description is the optimists left a mess on Earth. The realists remain to clean it up and make a better world and create Starfleet and whatever.
Right.
Like, I think baked into the scene as these folks are bad. They quit.
They're bad. I mean, I think that their idea has a lot of eugenics in it too, right? It's like like we're all like smart, good people, so we'll leave all the like dumb, bad people behind, and their perfect society of smart, good people turns out to be like prone to self-destruction in a way that like eugenicists never anticipate.
Pretty interesting stuff.
Yeah.
And it makes you replay in your mind just what that one guy was thinking when he saw Pike's face exposed and chose not to kill him. Like, there's so much that you as a viewer need to bring to that scene to project onto what that person was thinking in making that choice.
I really like that these people are depicted as like the legacy of people that made that decision too. Like, there's no good way to feel about this, you know, like thousands of people died and it's like horrible, but like they were doing something that was bad.
And they also got the point secondhand, like this telephone version of your aspirations and your morality or whatever, like coming from your life lived on a generation ship in this way, like that all being warped in a sense too.
This just does not sit great with Kirk because he has to live with the fact that the decisions he made in trying to save the entrepreneur and the Farragut led to the deaths of thousands of humans who had been lost. And he's like bumming out about this with some brown liquor. And Pike comes in to talk about like what a tough thing it is to sit in that captain's chair. Like, those decisions are not abstract anymore. You got to live with them. And every outcome is something that you own.
This is Pike at his best here because he's got that gear where he can go on the 1MC and say Starfleet is a promise.
Right.
But I think he's even better one-on-one in this way. He's like, look, bud, you got a long career ahead of you, and it's fun and funny to call you Captain Kirk right here in this moment. I think you agree. That's pretty funny, Jim. But like, over the course of a long career, you're going to be making calls. And not everything is going to work out for you. And part of the deal with being the captain is making those decisions, but also bearing the consequences for your crew so they don't have to.
Yeah.
It's part of the job.
They discuss, like, you know, to what degree was this a monstrous act that we did? And, like, why does it feel even worse because we found out that they were humans? And they talk about, like, empathizing with your opponent and like the command challenges surrounding that. And like, what could make a group of humans act like this? Like, it's insane. They built an entire ship that has a big chompy mouth. Like, what could have possessed them?
I think if this were an episode of classic Star Trek, and by that I mean an episode made in the 90s, a single brass instrument would be playing here at the end.
Yeah.
As the camera pulls back and it's just Kirk left alone in the rubble of this conference room.
What an episode, Adam, but did you like it?
She'll always bring it home.
I really did, and I think I like it most for this last moment. Like, I really wanted a Pike and Kirk moment of some gravity, and that's what we get here. I think there's a lot of moments in the episode dotted with Spock and Kirk stuff, and I feel like that's just the red meat for Star Trek fans. Like, scrutinizing every little moment between them, like, oh, they're going to be so close. You could tell. I could see it. I could see it from the beginning. But to me, like, the Pike and Kirk relationship is more interesting and enriching for me to watch on this show. And that final scene, I think, really bears that out. I thought that was really great, and I'm glad they had time to do it, because I think you could end the episode with, you know, a job well done, a big explosion, ships go to warp over the credits. Like, we've gotten that ending a billion times on Star Trek, but that we get this little epilogue here, I think really makes a difference, really matters a lot.
This was a harder episode to write, and I think we really needed this Pike this season. Like, Pike has had a rocky start this season, and this is a reminder of why so many people connected with this character in the best way possible.
Yeah.
I was so worried, man, when I saw the cold open of this episode. I was like, this sucks. This is a bad episode so far. And boy, did they turn it around and stick the landing. Holy shit.
yeah, this might be one of my favorites this season. I really thought it was good. Do you leave the telephones up after this? I think you could make the case for the need for telephones.
Yeah, it's a good thing to have in a tricky situation, you know?
Yeah, I agree.
Well, do you want to see if there's anything hardwired in the P1 inbox?
I'm picking up the receiver right now, Ben.
Priority 1 message from Starfleet coming in on secured channel.
We got a promotional message here, and it goes like this. Want to show the power of the greatest Trek bump for a small business, or just join Adam with a long drink? Juice it up with our strawberry gin, or make a Vesper with our yuzu, or fly an aviation hire with our London Dry, made in partnership with UW Botanical Society. We're back on the Jumbotron with Ben and Adam because Lodgepole Distilling is now shipping all our gins throughout Washington and California. Fuck you, Oregon. You're getting jumped. Sorry, I added that. Go to lodgepoledistilling.com and order for your next Canar with Damar. So Washington and California residents can go online and order some delicious Lodgepole gin at lodgepoledistilling.com. I'm going to do it.
I love that this has ties to my alma mater. University of Washington Botanical Society is a partner in this, and that's pretty great, I think.
I thought that was just a group of stoners.
Oh, that's a fun way to put it. Yeah.
I'm excited about this. I love gin. I'm looking forward to trying an FOD created gin.
Yeah, Bill says that some bottles to sample are on the way, so I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, cool.
I wonder if they do something brick and mortar up there. I'm going to be up in Seattle in a little bit. Maybe that's something I can seek out.
Yeah.
I'm going to see what I can do while I'm up there.
Give him the personal greatest Trek bump.
That's what's up. Ben, we got a personal priority 1 message here from past Dave. This one's to future Dan. Here's how that message goes. Future Dan, it's me, Dave, from the past. If you're hearing these words, then my years-long effort to get you to listen to the show has been a success. If you're not hearing these words yet, don't worry. There's still time. I will, one day, put right what once went wrong. P.S. This is the closest to time travel I've ever come.
Wow. Mazel tov, past Dave, for coming this close to time travel. Ooh, you dropped something, King. Picks up chronotons.
Time travel.
Hope you're here, Dan, listening to this great message that Dave sent you.
Yeah, I like that Dave is going to work on Dan, making a new listener out of Dan. That's good.
Potentially.
I don't think Dave is going to stop until Dan folds, you know.
Past, present, or future, all types of people can make a priority 1 message by going to MaximumFun.org/Jumbotron. Write a couple of words. We'll do the rest. We'll sell your booze for you.
Yeah, get that bump.
We'll make it all happen because it all goes a long way in supporting the production of our shows.
It really does.
Hey, Ben.
Ooh, what's that, Adam?
Did you find yourself an Edward Larkin?
I think it's got to be Mbenga for being one of the thruster guys.
It's just an insane idea.
I thought it was very funny the way he performed that, like in his crouch.
You guys know he's the butcher of Jagal, right? This doesn't seem beneath him to you?
He just finished an incredibly complicated brain surgery on a Starfleet captain.
This is how he winds down, firing some thrusters. Yeah.
I think he's got to be my Edward Larkin. How about you, Adam?
If you read some of the commentary on this show from folks who don't like it, one of the comments will go something like, why is Pike's quarters so big? Why does it have a fucking fireplace in it? That's not real. That's not my Star Trek. When we go to Pelia's quarters and we see that Pelia has a living space on Enterprise maybe as big as Pike's that looks like a downtown Los Angeles speakeasy inside. When she boarded the ship, she chose what to bring with her. And the fact that she brought a trunk full of shit with not just one corded telephone, but many, many telephones demonstrates that she's a hoarder.
She's a collector. Come on.
When you live for 500 years and you have a hoarding psychology, I think that is very bad. What is going to stop her? I mean, it came in handy in this exact moment, but I think the person who brings a handful of corded telephones onto your deployment is also going to be the one that brings too much of something that you shouldn't have brought. And I'm wondering if we're going to encounter any of that on this mission.
Wow.
So Pelly is mine.
I covet that apartment. Her apartment looks so awesome to me.
Looks like a great apartment to do a podcast in.
Yeah.
A lot of soft surfaces.
Well, Adam, we end every episode of Greatest Trek with a warning bois. This is the segment where we express our appreciation for folks who talk about the show online, recommend it on social media, or leave a nice review. Those things really make a difference in helping get the word out.
Prepare a buoy and launch it when ready.
Warning buoys.
An emergency buoy. A warning buoy.
We've got a warning bois today. It's a review of Greatest Trek in Apple Podcasts United Kingdom edition. Goes like this. The greatest Star Trek podcast. Do you love Star Trek? Are you also partial to grown men making juvenile dick jokes? Then this is the podcast for you. The Greatest Trek and the Greatest Generation podcasts make Star Trek better. That's right. As a companion piece to rewatches of old Trek or first viewings of new Trek, Adam and Ben's thoughtful insights and crude jokes will only increase your enjoyment of all things Star Trek. That's from Austin Train. Thank you so much, Austin.
Thanks, Austin.
What kind words. Really nice to see those in the Apple Podcasts review section, because Apple Podcast reviews really have a huge outsized impact on whether people find your show. So we really appreciate it. If you'd like to leave a review, please leave a 5-star one, and you might hear your words coming out of our mouths on future Warning Bois segment.
You're about to hear words come out of Wynde's mouth.
That's true.
In the credits of our show.
She'll tell you about what's happening next week and tell you about some of the great people we're lucky enough to work with to bring you this program. So take it away, Wynde. Bye-bye.
Greatest Trek is an Uxbridge Shimoda podcast on the Maximum Fun Network. It's hosted by Ben Harrison and Adam Pranica, and it's produced and edited by Wynde Priddy. Next week on the show, Ben and Adam will be back to talk about Strange New Worlds Season 3, Episode 7. It's called What is Starfleet? Until then, we want to say thank you to all of the members who are contributing monthly to help keep this show going. Members get instant access to the entire catalog of bonus content, and setting up a membership is quick and easy at MaximumFun.org/join. We really appreciate your support. Thanks to Nick Dittmore, who created the show art, and thank you to Adam Ragusea, who composed the theme music. Thanks to Rob Adler and Bill Tilley. They work on the @Greatest Trek social media pages, and you can find and follow those online. Be sure to use the hashtag Greatest Trek when you post about the show so that we can find it. There's a lot more to see on the Greatest Trek YouTube channel, so make sure you're subscribed over there, and you'll find all the fun merch at podshop.biz. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week on Greatest Trek.
Maximum Fun,
a worker-owned network
of artist-owned shows,
supported directly
by you.